I think we're live. Are we live? It's all gone a little bit on pause. Hmm. Oh, there we go. Morning, Diana here. Welcome to Mentoring for Awakening, MFA episode 11. Can you believe it? Today I'm going to talk to you about self-nurture. Oh my God, aren't we bashing this whole self-nurture thing to death almost? But we need to continue to talk about it and tell you why right now. Recently, I heard, well, recently, maybe next couple of months ago, I heard a really, really well-known spiritual leader who's also now a politician talk or say something that really surprised me. Um, she described that self-nurture and self-love was overrated, and we need to stop talking about it because all it's doing is nurturing a whole generation of narcissist behaviors or narcissistic type behaviors. I have to tell you that this really shocked me, and I want to correct this because self-nurture is actually a key component of the ascension and the evolution of the collective consciousness, because it opens a portal to that 5D new earth structure. So, but I want to make it very clear to you the difference between self-nurture, which is a component of self-love, and narcissistic behavior. So here it goes. When self-nurture is externally focused, meaning I need to get lots of likes on Facebook, on social media, because that goes towards my own self-importance. I gotta get a better TV, a better car, a better computer, I need to compete. I need to show that I'm better than. I've got more money. I look better. I've got bigger boobs, larger lips. I go to the gym every day for 10 hours because I'm a gym junkie. To look really good, and I don't do those sorts of things for the right reasons. They're egocentric reasons. When the focus, sorry, let me try that again. When self-nurture or self-love is focused on the external anything, external any kind of egocentric focus of better than, and some sort of an illusion, some sort of a mask or a pretense, that is basically the recipe for narcissistic behavior, because it's about because it's egocentric, it's about it's about separation, competition, me versus them, us versus them, that sort of stuff. So it keeps us in separation. It keeps, you know, it excuses negative behavior. And if we have a look in the world, the 3D paradigm is kind of based and built on that. When the focus is on inner self-nurture, so inner nurture meaning physical nurture for the sake of health and well-being, own your own self and well-being, for the sake of health and well-being, as opposed to so that you are better than somebody else. When self-nurture is focused on your inner mental health, healthy thoughts, positive thoughts. When your self-nurture, again, a derivative or a part of self-love, is focused on a healthy heart chakra, a healthy emotional body, an intelligent and mature emotional body, so healthy, the processing of emotions, of feelings in a healthy way, that, my loves, is actual self-nurture. That's an actual alignment with self, with moving closer to who you actually already are. So peeling off those layers of social conditioning, of false pretenses, of egocentric behavior, egocentric ways of being. So I'm pretty sure that I've made it pretty clear here that narcissism has nothing to do with your actual self within you, who you actually are. A narcissistic behavior or narcissistic tendencies has to do with this fake egoic illusion, external appearance, which is not real anyway. It's rubbish. All right, moving on. Why am I talking about this big picture? Oh, just hang on. What is this? Oh, picture. So most of you that are going to watch this will know that we are in this massive transitional period from the age of Pisces into the age of Aquarius. Aquarius is all about collective consciousness. It's all about unity consciousness, Christ consciousness, the stepping more into that oneness principle. But here's the thing, is that you can't bypass self in order to get to one. You are one already, and at one, as in all that is the oneness, we have made the choice to reincarnate into the physical vessel. The journey back to one is two ways, either through the death of the physical body or through the physical body itself, through our awareness and our consciousness. There is no bypassing. You can't just focus on your crown chakra and get there and forget that you're in the physical body. You chose to reincarnate into and have this physical experience for a reason. So the portal back to self is through this process. This is why having your individual self at its best and highest potential is paramount. It's so important. You can't bypass this process. You just can't bypass this process. And then as far as your human self is concerned, this is completely related to your base chakra. So self-nurture is about, it sits in the portal of your base or root chakra, if you will. Now, hang on a minute. And here's another concept, right? The foundations of the 5D or fifth dimensional existence which is a crystalline matrix, which is where the DNA strands move more into a crystalline structure as opposed to a carbon-based structure. The foundations of 5D are only ever going to be as solid and as anchored as the weakest individual point holding or being connected to 5D. Yeah. So it's a little bit like a house. When you've got columns of a house holding a house up, if one of the columns has concrete cancer and is weak, the whole house is only as safe and as even and as strong as the weakest column holding it up. So it's not like one person individualizes and becomes really strong and steps into their highest potential, and then that is enough and holds up everybody else. That's not how it works. Every single one of us has to know how to show compassion, how to show love, how to care, nurture, mother our own selves before we can contribute to the collective in a healthy way. No anger, no frustration, no acting out, blaming, shaming, separation, pointing fingers, staying in that awareness of evil. That is not going to get us there. That's not going to work. So I want you to understand very clearly that the reason why we are still talking about self-nurture, self-love, is not just some funky 21st century premise for spending more money on groovy shit in the world. Because it's not about the external, it's about the internal. And physical health and well-being is only one component of a much bigger picture. And it's about time that we send our collective ego a thank you but no more greeting and wish, so that we can stop living in this illusion that if we care for ourselves first and foremost, then somehow this is an act of narcissism, because we need to grow the fuck up in our emotional body already. There is a degree of maturity that we need to achieve, and the collective emotional body is very immature. We need to grow up and understand what the emotional body means, how to work with it in a more mature way, how to achieve emotional intelligence, so that therefore our emotional body can work in harmony with our intellectual body, our mental body, our mind, so that there is this beautiful ease, harmony, peace within. Because the war within, you know the one I'm talking about, the one where it's head against heart, that classic shit show. Well, that classic shit show transmits outside into the world, all you have to do is have a look at the world around you, and you will be able to reference the head against the heart scenario in many situations. So imagine if we change that, if we suddenly find, well, not suddenly, if we work towards finding a harmony and peace between the head and the heart, and how that would reflect into the world around us. Imagine. So how do we start with self-nurture? We start, number one, we start by acknowledging all the things, all the different ways that you are nurtured already today. So what might that be? Make a list. How are you already nurtured? Well, if you're listening to this, I will give you a couple of examples. If you're listening to this, that means that you're alive. Well, certainly, you're physically alive, which means that you're breathing, which means that you need to feel gratitude. You need to acknowledge the fact that you have access to oxygen because you're breathing. That's absolutely an act of self-nurture. Not the fact that there's oxygen in the world, although of course we are grateful for that, but the fact that you acknowledge that this is available to you. And instead of blindly just taking it for granted and not thinking, not giving it a moment of your time, acknowledge the fact that you have air to breathe. Because there are many families and many people in the US at the moment that are going through those horrendous bushfires. And I'm in Sydney, Australia, so we had this earlier in the year and late last year, so I know what it's like, where the air quality is absolutely horrendous. And it is at times like these that we remember to be grateful for clean air, or as clean as we possibly can have it right now at this time in the world. So how about that? That would be a good one. What would be another one? You have water to drink. And especially in the Western world, if you have access to clean water. Even more so if you have access, like I do, not just to water, but to filters that filter water so that I can have a jug full of purified water at any time I want. Food, nutrition, somewhere to sleep. I have clothes on my back. All of those basic things have to do with the base or root chakra. You must give yourself a moment to acknowledge and appreciate this. That's how you start. Arrogance with regards to these basic foundational things in your world are going to ensure that you get more of that. So stop it. Point number 2. If you had, so I wrote a question down, I'm just referring to it. If you had 0 limitations, what would you do to nurture yourself better? Zero limitations. You didn't have to go to work. If you didn't have to, I don't know, pay for things, what would you do? You might say you'd go on a holiday. You might say that you'd invest into a massage, a monthly massage. You might, I don't know what you might do. You might go and do chakra dancing because you used to do it and you really love it and you haven't done it in years. That's certainly the truth for me in salsa dancing. I don't know. Make a list of things that you do to nurture yourself, to bring yourself joy, to love yourself more, to invest into yourself. Invest money, time, well-being, joy, love. Do more of the good shit for yourself. What would that be? Do some sound healing, get some therapy. Study something. Be around more plants. Plant a veggie garden. I don't know, whatever. And number 3, pick 2 or 3 things from that list that you just made of unlimited potential and 0 barriers, and then work on putting them, calling them into your reality. So if one of the things on your list is to get a monthly massage, then make room for that. Gift yourself the time. Ask Spirit to help you. Pray, call it in. Imagine as if it's already here, because then the universe, the energy, the field of potential literally conspires to bring you what you already know to be true, which in this example would be to find the right massage therapist and the money that you need to go and get the massage and the time that you need to go and do it, to receive. Now, I want to close another idea up. I mentioned earlier in this video, right, that the base chakra holds the energy or the archetype of where self-nurture sits, or the energy of self-nurture. Now, that particular archetype, of course, references the mother archetype, the carer, the nurturer, that infinite unconditional love, yeah? And it is through this archetype of mother in the base chakra that we find alignment with our highest potential. This is how the base chakra, through this archetype of mother, through this archetype of being able to give ourselves those things that society tells us will give to us. So instead of looking for somebody else to care for us, we find ways in which to care for ourselves. We are confident in that, and we believe that we deserve it, that it's our right to be safe, to be provided for, to be healthy, to be nurtured. All of those concepts belong in the base chakra. It is the anchor point of our physical experience. And this is the direct correlation between the base chakra and our evolution, or the base chakra's contribution to the evolution of the collective consciousness. For the purposes of reference, the unbalanced archetype of the base chakra is the victim. And I'm now going to very quickly give you some attributes of the victim archetype, because if you identify with the victim archetype in any way, that means that you probably have some work to do to harmonize and balance your base chakra portal, energy portal. So let's have a look. The victim archetype is basically the lowest level of energy awareness. The victim always feels at the mercy of outside forces, whether it's life, family, friendships, anything like that, at the mercy of those forces, and those forces act directly against them. The ego trait, or the unbalanced aspect of the base chakra through the victim archetype, is that we, or the person with an unbalanced base chakra, will feel fearful, disorganized. They will usually be live in clutter, or have a cluttered environment. They're easily manipulated. They feel uncertain. They experience lack in almost every way possible: financial lack, emotional lack, mental lack. I can't, they'll get me, oh my God, this, that, third, all of those sorts of things. And consequently, because the world is really scary for the victim, as they feel at the mercy of the world, they can be really cut off emotionally. Sorry. They can become self-destructive and controlling. Really anxious personality, and fear the loss of personal possessions, because even their physical world, their home, their cars, their belongings, furniture, bones, whatever, physical possessions, are at the mercy of external forces, and someone's going to come in and take it, or break into the house, or something, yeah, something along those lines. Of course, they have lack of security. They don't feel safe in the world, and again, what I said before, and therefore lack direction. Because this survival mode, this being a victim, leaves the person really hyper aware of potential danger, and therefore always in survival mode. And when we're in survival mode, we're unable to create a better future for ourselves. So that needs to shift. And then closing this story by saying that we shift that victim mentality by starting with things like self-nurture, by bringing the focus back into ourselves from the outside back in. Focus more on self, and slowly shifting that paradigm and slowly harmonizing the base chakra portal. There's actually really quite a lot in there, so my apologies, this video is a little bit longer. All right, I'm going to close here, and I'm going to say that if you are needing support, some counseling, therapeutic, or coaching slash mentoring support to help you with some of these learnings, then please feel free to either go to my website, diana.org, or write to me here and we can arrange a session. Okay, I love you lots. Bye. Mwah.